Casey. Hi, Casey. Thanks for joining today. Welcome, everyone, to Achieving Speed of Market through Streamlined Processes and Deep Integrations. We really appreciate you joining. I figure that we can each do introductions, name, title, company, a bit about ourselves, and an icebreaker of what's your favorite kind of vacation? So I'm Sophia Chang, Senior Product Marketing Manager for Healthcare here at Bullhorn. I've been at Bullhorn for 2.5 years, focused on healthcare staffing. And my favorite kind of vacation is going to someplace urban with good food, good cultural sites, and a little bit of outdoor nature too. And I'm going to hand things off to Cecilia.
Hello, I'm Cecilia. I am the Director of Operations over at CrossMed. We staff, we're a healthcare staffing company, so that's what we do. My favorite vacation is anywhere I can be under the sun. So wherever that is, I just love being in the sun.
Casey Bernhardt, VP of Customer Experience at RefAssured. We are an automated reference checking solution. And I've been with the company about 6 months. And I love the beach so much that I ended up moving to a coastal city in Charleston, South Carolina, although I don't make it to the beach as often as I'd like.
Awesome. That sounds really nice right now.
It's a little chilly here, but.
So an overview of what we're going to cover today. We're going to do a quick overview of healthcare solutions. We're going to spend the majority of the time chatting with Cece at CrossMed Healthcare. We'll have 5 to 10 minutes towards the end for Q&A. So if you have any questions, please feel free to drop it in the chat and we'll get to it during that time. And then we'll wrap up with some key takeaways. So healthcare staffing firms can use Bullhorn and RefAssured to increase their speed to market while keeping costs low by automating and streamlining processes. So at Bullhorn, we can handle everything from automating VMS jobs and submissions to acquiring providers, including RefAssured's ability to automate reference checks and onboarding providers to get quality providers into roles faster than your competitors do in order to make sure that hospitals and facilities are able to provide quality care. And all throughout this process, making it easy for providers to engage with you at every step. So just a quick overview of Bullhorn Healthcare. So it's a suite of solutions that allows healthcare staffing firms to really maximize their profitability with operational efficiency. So finding different ways to increase revenue while also reducing costs. And so with Bullhorn Healthcare, you can accelerate time to fill while increasing the productivity of your recruiters and maximizing the usage of your database and building client relationships. And so really focusing on that time to submit. And that's really important for accelerating time to fill. You're also able to grow provider loyalty with a talent-centric experience and making your funnel less leaky with higher conversions and higher redeployment rates. You're also able to clear providers for work on time, so accelerating that credentialing process while also increasing compliance. And then lastly, you're able to maintain financial health. So it's all about managing time and pay accurately and quickly while reducing mistakes, especially around complex time management and interpretation. And RefAssured, they're a key marketplace partner that is integrated with Bullhorn in order to serve healthcare staffing firms. And I'll hand things off here to Casey to cover RefAssured.
Absolutely. So RefAssured is natively integrated with Bullhorn, which enables Bullhorn users to kick off reference requests without ever having to leave Bullhorn. We also integrate with the talent platform and Bullhorn automation, which enables a candidate-driven experience for reference checks, as well as recruiters not being required to actually kick those off within Bullhorn. We do also enable users to view and review results on candidate and job profiles within Bullhorn, as well as add leads to the ATS side, and you are able to access the full app within Bullhorn without ever having to leave your ATS.
Awesome. So now we're going to get into our fireside chat with Cece. Hello. We're going to cover, their challenges and how they've used technology to address those challenges in these key areas of automating key VMS activities, talent experience, supplying references, and then accelerating that credentialing process. So let me see if I can stop sharing. Great. And we can kind of go into this fireside chat. So everyone can see Cece. So Cece, can you please give a quick overview of CrossMed? What kinds of healthcare staffing does CrossMed handle?
Yes, so I've been, I missed this part earlier, I've been at CrossMed just about a year. So we staff the nursing side, the allied side, and then our most recent is launching our locums division.
That's awesome. That's exciting that you're doing that.
Yes, it is. New to me, so it's a bunch of learning.
What are the top challenges that you're seeing in healthcare going into 2024?
I think one of the big things, and a lot of people can probably relate, is just what's life like post-pandemic. So re-educating nurses on what the industry is looking like from a market standpoint, re-educating our internal staff, our recruiters, what does that look like in regards to healthcare staffing and where is it going? It's really hard to have data when it just seems to be all over the board to kind of look into those trends. So we're doing our best, but I think that is probably one of the challenges. And then just always in healthcare staffing, it's adapting to the speed. So there is a ton of technology out there that is amazing, but it's where can you make it fit? We are a company here at CrossMed where we do a lot of stuff inside of Bullhorn. And if it can integrate with Bullhorn, it's the way we want to go to keep that single source of truth, to keep our sales staff in one kind of platform and not have to go outside of that when we don't have to.
That's awesome. And, as you think about those different challenges, what would you say are your top business goals at CrossMed this year?
One of our top goals is growth and development. So just internal training, what's relevant now, what technology do we have that we need to continue to develop and grow with. A big thing too is reducing our backouts, turns and quits. So what can we do with training in regards to qualifying candidates and making sure that we can push them through the process. Another big goal of ours is process improvement. So with automation, with the tech stack that we have, are we using each platform to its fullest? What else can we do with those different tech platforms to get them to talk, to clean up data, to initiate different steps in that workflow that we need done without those manual clicks or those manual things that you have to remember. And then the other main goal is just getting our locums division launched off the ground and all things that will come with that.
That's a really big initiative. So excited to hear about it some more.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think like that process improvement, especially like that's where technology can help. And I think that's a great segue to our next set of questions specifically around VMS automation. So Cece, before using VMS Sync, how were you managing getting VMS requisitions into your ATS?
That was prior to my time here at CrossMed, but I can tell you it was a manual process, a lot of spreadsheets and loading, and where it's such a fast market and you need things to happen instantly. That was a big part of decreasing our speed to market, funneling through too many people, whether it would hit a client manager first and then a recruiter. That is a big thing that VMS Sync has helped with, being able to just go out to those portals, scrape those jobs, and bring them into our ATS.
Sounds painful, manual processes and spreadsheets. I guess that's a good transition to my next question, which is like, how has Bullhorn VMS Sync improved your processes and improved your speed to market?
Yeah, it's given everyone visibility into those jobs. So what's real-time opening, closing, different things that the recruiters can source for in their candidates because they're seeing a high volume of jobs in a certain area, or client managers being able to kind of run, instead of having to log into every portal every time for all of the jobs, they can just get into Bullhorn for one stop. It's a better way to drive strategy with, different areas of the country that we're seeing higher job counts, and just gives a higher level of accountability when everyone has access to that visibility of seeing what's happening.
That's awesome. And, this is currently in beta. It'll be generally available in April. And you're one of the customers in our beta program for VMS Sync submittals for Health Trust. So I was hoping that you could share what your experience has been like so far being a part of that beta program.
It's been awesome. Our team is asking what portal is next so that we can continue to use this. So if you don't know, this is kind of the VMS submittal inside of Bullhorn, that our client managers are not having to log into the Health Trust portal to submit candidates. They can do it all through Bullhorn. So it's been super simple to teach people how to use it, super simple from a end user standpoint on how to use it. And it's saving a ton of time. So I think it's decreased the time that it takes submissions by, up to 75% on some of our cases out here. So it's really
That's a crazy amount.
Yes.
That's awesome. And, how has Bullhorn VMS Sync allowed you to take advantage of opportunities in front of you at CrossMed?
More submissions. So it's just driven that submission count up. It's sped up getting that person submitted. So the process with submitting sometimes can be pretty intricate. Each health system has its own cover sheet or has different requirements, where this just kind of takes all of those pieces, puts it into one spot, and is able to speed up that submission process. So it's allowed us to really kind of utilize that in getting speed to market and get those candidates submitted quicker.
That's awesome. And I know that also, in addition to time to submit, talent experience with you at CrossMed is also a major focus. I know that some healthcare staffing firms, they have a recruit to fill strategy in order to meet VMS expectations. So I was hoping that you could spend some time talking about using Bullhorn Talent Platform and how you think about the talent experience. So general question, what has been your experience with Bullhorn Talent Platform? What has that been like for you?
Yeah, when I joined CrossMed, we were already using the credentialing side of the talent platform. So where our team was using inside of Bullhorn, the credentialing tab, initiating forms and things for the traveler to fill out or that we needed signed. So we were using that piece. And then within the last 6 months, 8 months, we've really focused on that beginning part of the profile building. So using that talent platform, trying to use it end to end for the traveler so that they can store, when we're asking for updated work history or resume or updated certifications, that they can use the talent platform to kind of log in, view everything that we have, and all of that, of course, syncs back into our ATS. So it's one less click for a recruiter to have to enter that data, or a compliance specialist who's searching for an ACLS and someone has it in their email. This has made it super simple for the traveler, for the provider to log on and update the things that they need to update or complete for us. So just given that A to Z process for onboarding that candidate from the top down.
It's amazing how you've described it as like your one-stop shop for talent, but also as a way for you to streamline things for your internal teams too. So
absolutely.
What does the future look like for you when thinking about the Bullhorn Talent Platform? What are you looking to do next with it?
Yeah, so we're looking at the job search functionality. So where travelers will be able to see jobs inside of the portal, apply for jobs that come in, through our ATSS submissions. Eventually on our roadmap, we're hoping to go to the Bullhorn One platform. So with time and expense, so travelers are able to log on and log their time in the same spot that they would update their BLS. And then make other things self-serviceable that they would need, put out company resources that they would need, kind of that intranet, if you will, for travelers, but truly being able to streamline that process, because we all know we have things stored a lot of different places, but giving them one spot to go to is kind of our main goal, along with Bullhorn automation. So where can we insert some different automation techniques that we're needing to drive the candidates to that portal to get more current data. That's
awesome. And I know you touched on this a little bit already, but how has Bullhorn Talent Platform helped your internal teams? When you think about how it goes with like the Bullhorn ATS and CRM.
It's given them just one place to steer their travelers and their providers. So instead of sending them, to our website to do this and to their email for a reference link to do that, they can do all of that now right inside the talent platform. So they can do their skills checklist in there. And then with RefAssured in the Bullhorn integration, we can now do the references from that initial standpoint of completing the profile.
And I think that's the perfect transition for Casey to talk about supplying references.
Awesome. So Cece, I know that you weren't at CrossMed for too long before implementing RefAssured, but curious what the reference checking process was like before implementation.
Yeah, so the biggest pain point that we had before we implemented RefAssured was being able to text our references in order to get those references back. So emails, we were having deliverability issues if it's going to someone's work email where there's a ton of flags or things to flag those. This way, there's more than one way. It can email, it can text those providers to get those references back quicker.
Awesome. And regarding the implementation experience in general, was anyone at your organization surprised by the lift required, and what was that experience like in general?
Yeah, I obviously came in a little bit mid-project of the RefAssured implementation, but I was surprised at the low lift of where I was at with the project, that RefAssured was more than willing to lead those trainings, kind of bring us all along on the journey to get things implemented with us instead of just kind of handing it all to us to get it figured out. So it took some time for the users to get used to the new platform. Obviously, change is always a little bit hard and just getting used to a new platform. But once they were comfortable, and it didn't take too long, it seems like it was just a seamless transition at this point.
That's great to hear. A lot of our customers are surprised by how quickly we can get them up and running. So we're glad to hear you had that experience.
Yes.
And how has RefAssured streamlined your reference checking process?
We no longer have to monitor those requests. So the reminders are going out. We can see different on our dashboard. So inside the RefAssured dashboard, inside of Bullhorn, we can see different places where maybe it was undeliverable or we need to enter something manually. If the traveler entered a wrong phone number, that kind of thing has really sped up the process of getting things fixed or corrected, where you don't have to restart the entire process, but really streamlining just sending those requests and not having to monitor them day to day. Being able to manually send out reminders when you need to as well is also an option that's been super helpful for us.
Awesome. And what Bullhorn products are you leveraging with RefAssured and that integration?
One is that talent platform. So being able to get the candidate to complete the entire profile. So when they log on and start that profile, they're entering, resume, work history, education. They're able to fill out their skills checklist, and then the platform is able to take them right into RefAssured at the end of that, so that they don't have to leave that platform to do an additional link or additional information. Also with audit information, we've used the RefAssured completions inside of Bullhorn to let our staff know, hey, a reference has been completed and this whole profile is completed through the talent platform. So we've been able to leverage automation as well with RefAssured and the talent platform pieces.
Awesome. We're excited to see how much shorter your completion times get with those two integrations.
Yes, me too.
And lastly, how has RefAssured been a competitive differentiator for CrossMed? And have you experienced any unexpected benefits from implementing the platform?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest transition pieces we had was the rating scale that RefAssured uses compared to other standard rating scales out there. But it has truly enabled us those true insights into the candidate quality. So giving us a true picture of what that candidate was like, what they were like to work with, rather than someone kind of rating them all down the middle, giving someone all threes. So we feel like we can identify maybe some red flags earlier on, or give some coaching where we need to do that. Turnaround times have decreased, which helps obviously with our speed to market and getting travelers submitted quicker. And working with the RefAssured team. So that has been a huge benefit. I believe, and I'm passionate about just being able to work with a team that we have alignment in vision in what we're looking for, and then constantly improving when we're able to give feedback. So that's been huge as well.
We've loved working with you, and a lot of your feedback has been built into the product to make it better. So thank you for all of that.
Thank you.
I'll hand it back over to Sophia to talk about credentialing.
Awesome. So we've covered, VMS automations for getting your recs and your ATS and submitting candidates, and referencing, doing reference checks for those candidates. And now they've accepted the job offer. Woohoo! And so I wanted to talk about this final piece of compliance and credentialing before they start jobs. So Cece, CrossMed, you guys are integral to building out Compliance Manager, and you also participated in our beta program there. So I was hoping that you could cover, what was the credentialing process like when you first arrived at CrossMed before we dive into the Bullhorn solution side?
So when I started here, we were using the credentialing piece inside of Bullhorn. We knew it could probably do more than what we were using it for. So we've really enhanced on making that our source of truth. We also have to upload those credentials into vendor portal. So just making sure Bullhorn is aligning with whatever we're having to put out there. And just continuing to adopt and adapt to all the technology that we have has truly been kind of a forefront goal of ours. We've really increased our turnaround rates of getting compliance completed, travelers being able to log into one spot to get that stuff done as well.
Well, I was hoping that you could elaborate a little bit more on that piece, which is great. How does self-service credentialing and Bullhorn Talent Platform support your credentialing processes and ability to be compliant? How does this improve the provider experience?
It just creates efficiencies all around. So it's just more efficient processes where we're able to reduce the manual clicks that we had in the past. So with that talent platform, it's automated a credential group. So if we have a set of credentials that we need for every registered nurse, we can load those onto that candidate. We can fill them, and the rest are tasks listed out there in that portal for the traveler to fill out. So it's really just automated the things that need to be loaded instead of having to click every single one. And we know there's a lot of credentials needed for each assignment. Instead of having to click every one, it does allow you to do those groups and kind of get through it a lot quicker.
Yeah, I know I get frustrated when I have to do more clicks than I need to. So
yes,
big enhancement. And then how does Compliance Manager and credentialing and the Bullhorn platform support your credentialing processes and ability to be compliant? What has it been like for your internal team?
It's been great for our internal team to have something towards the compliance aspect. So having that compliance manager that pulls the different assignment details, facility details all into one spot for compliance, where before they had to work out of assignments, which is geared a little bit more towards sales and what they were looking at. So this has really helped our compliance team have full visibility into those assignments and what we're missing for those credentialing pieces. They can sort by just themselves. Who do they have starting? They can tag things from that view. And it's kind of just a full dashboard of what they're needing and all in one spot.
Awesome. And, lastly, how have you seen client relationships improve with accelerated credentialing and better credentialing overall?
A big thing we were focused on for last year of CrossMed was increasing our clear rates. So we wanted less push starts, less cancels, and that is something that over the end of the year, the 5 months towards the end of the year, we increased our clearance rate from 79% of providers to 91%. So that was a huge win for us. That helps our relationships with the client when they know that CrossMed is getting their travelers and providers credentialed on time, and we're not having any pushes that are inside of our control, and that we can stay on top of those things.
That's amazing. A huge improvement in just 5 months. So there's a lot to be proud of there. And then to close out before we do Q&A, so get in your questions now while I ask Cece this last question. But Cece, what advice would you give to folks looking to improve their processes with technology?
I think it's a great thing to just dive into the current tech stack that you have and try to figure out, are we using it to its fullest potential? Is there other things that we could get out of anything that we do have? And then looking for the gaps. So is there gaps in between there that you can, enhance your tech stack to fill? And then digging to see how they work together. So we've really looked at what can it integrate with Bullhorn and what can we get to work through there, which has been a great thing for us in improving those efficiencies and just having everything kind of correlate and talk to one another.
Awesome. Well, we are going to see what kind of questions we have in the audience. So I'm going to look over at the Q&A. Let's see. One question I have for you, Cece, is how have you rolled out new technology or updates to your team so you drive good adoption?
It can be hard to roll out new technology and to get the team to use it, but we've really tried to establish different internal teams that can help us go through the process. Hey, if we roll this out, what do you feel are going to be the pain points, and kind of take them through the journey with us so that they feel as though, we've seen the process, we've asked the questions, we know the things that aren't going to work, or we have solutions for how they will work. So we've really involved the team with anything that we've had to do just to get their feedback. They are our end users, and I'm here to help support them. So it's really helped with that driving adoption, especially if you have people on the floor saying, hey, use this, it does help. They're kind of your little advocates that are out there.
Really love that collaborative approach that you take to making sure the technology works for different folks on your team. That's awesome. Let's see. I'm a little bit new to this interface. I'm just going to quickly go through. I don't think there's any more questions, so I guess I'll transition to key takeaways here. Great. You can see it. Great. So some key takeaways from our discussion with Cece today and our presentation is it's really important to focus on making it easy to do business with for providers if you're a healthcare staffing firm. Just like Cece just shared not too long ago, it's important to take stock of and integrate your tech stack in order to improve your processes and making sure that data is flowing from one system to another. And a key part of improving processes is finding different ways to automate or streamline. And so things that you can automate is closing that VMS ATS loop in order to decrease your time to submit, as well as automate your reference checking and develop new customers and talent along the way with RefAssured. And then in terms of things so that you can streamlining that credentialing process so that you can get providers to work on time. So thanks so much for joining. We really appreciate Cece and Casey, both of you joining me for this session. I hope folks found this valuable. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.